Okay, so when we last left off, Jasmine just had her home attacked by a bunch of savages. She definitely bested them after she fortified her buildings and reinforced a bunch of military bugs, essentially. And you took down the leader and you have him as prisoner as you're making your decision on what to do with him. His name was Jerry. So you one of your people come back to you and they're saying, look, we that scientist that I told you about, I don't think I gave him a name yet. Um but that he's like the other bug person who works with you on making bug things and making bug contraptions and all that type of stuff. He hasn't returned yet. They still haven't heard from him or where he's at. And he was kind of like your right hand when it came to further advancements in these bugs. You taught him everything he knows, and then he's always daring to do extra stuff. Now, you've had a busy week, so but you was last trying to decide because I think he offered you basically a partnership on working together so y'all both could get inside the interstates. You was making a decision if you actually trusted him, if y'all should leave or not, what's best for the children that y'all have there. Y'all should continue to live in your own community and just take him out.
I think I make the decision in because I mean at this point where we are currently, no matter what, the water's rising, right?
Yeah, it's still slowly rising. Like it's already basically like you're in Texas, and so most parts of Texas is completely flooded out, especially like Houston. So it's already unlivable, period. And then states like Oklahoma and stuff are said to have more room. Like it's still kind of flooding, but it's more room to grow. And then they say that the further you go in states within America, you have dry land.
I think the best thing that we could do now is maybe, I want to say, wait until I talk to Jerry and I talk to Jerry about our alliance and what our other options are besides going into the interstates. And in the meantime, before I talk to Jerry, I will.
And keep in mind, also, an alliance with Jerry means an alliance with his ways. He made it clear that if you all join him, you all will go pillage other people. Like he kills and just takes from people. That's his level of surviving. Where you all have created a community together and survived together.
Right.
Yeah, maybe you feel like that's the way to go now, is to go the more brutal way, but you do have an already established community on just helping.
No, because I have a bunch of kids, so like if I cross the wrong person, they will murder children.
Yeah. So would Jerry.
So would Jerry. Okay, so I want to go to talk to Jerry first before I do anything. I know we talked before, but I want to give him another chance to be like, hey, if you're willing to change the way that you are, you can be a part of our community, and we'll give you that chance. But if you do not want to, I'm kind of stuck in between a rock and a hard place. Because as of now,
change my ways.
By like, don't go and pillage other people and kill them. Like,
well, that's just evolution. That's where we're at. That's what the times of today require. If you want to survive, it's this. It's what do they call it? What do those scientists call it? Natural selection.
Well, it's natural selection. Then how the hell am I out here surviving without killing and pillaging?
You really think that's gonna last long?
As long as you evolve with what's going on around you, yes. If push comes to shove and I have to protect what I need to protect, I will protect what I need to protect.
And there you go. You're looking like possibly killing me. And at some point, you're not going to be any different than the rest of us.
Granted, that is a correct, valid point, but I'm not actively choosing to go and pillage other people because I can sustain myself currently with the way that I have evolved into doing and the community that I've built.
To each his own. As you all are talking, it's thundering and lightning really hard outside, and there's a storm picking up. Now, I know I've mentioned before that storms are really bad in the time period you all are in, but I've never played out one. So this is going to be a really bad storm in y'all's area. So it's been thundering and lightning as you all are talking, and then you hear this loud boom, and the power generator that you all had up and running for your building completely goes out. Now, there is not really a functional power grid, so the power generator is the only means of electricity you have. So the whole building goes completely dark. Almost pitch black. I'm sure by now you would have flashlight candles because you've had this community for a while. So you start turning things on to get some light in the area. You start hearing screaming from one of the lower floors. And, well, did you have Jerry separate from the rest of his people that were enslaved? Or not enslaved, but captured? Okay. Because you don't want them trying to start anything.
Yeah, we had separated them at the last time that when we officially took over, we separated them. We separated, and we had Jerry confined differently, separated from his crew that he was with.
Okay, so you hear this screaming. What do? You hear the screaming is coming from the lower floors.
I'm currently with Jerry now, right?
Yes. And he's tied up, probably to a chair, or handcuffed. However you have him in prison, he's secure. You hear screaming coming from.
Well, you have a choice. You either come with me and figure out what the hell's going on, but the second that you even think of betraying me, I will murder you where you stand. No questions asked, you will die. Or I just leave you in here and you die by yourself.
I'll take my chances by myself.
I really don't trust him, dude. I really don't trust him because the way that he's talking, somehow he's gonna get out, survive, and then come at me and it's gonna be a problem. I don't have time to kill Jerry right now. If my people are screaming, my people come first. If he's a problem later on, I'll find a way to kill him. So I'm gonna go check the screaming that's going on.
Okay, so you go through the stairs, because remember the elevator doesn't work, and it for sure wouldn't work now with the power out. But you go through the stairs, and as you're going through the stairs, you see this woman. It was one of his people, and she has a child hostage. And the child, you know the children all by name. So this child is called Hazel. It's a boy, and he is Brienne's son. Brienne is somebody that you know, of course, because she's in your community. It's familiarizing you with these random NPCs I'm throwing in. But he has Hazel, you know, this little innocent boy, and she has him with a knife to his throat, and she's walking up the stairs, and she's still screaming. She hasn't even seen you yet, but she's still screaming at everyone else. She's just like, if anyone tries anything, I'm slicing his throat. And then she turns and sees you. She's like, just the person I was looking for. My name's Angie. You're gonna take me to my man, and you're gonna free him.
Great. Okay, Angie. You do realize that we're in the middle of a storm, and that if this gets worse, that we're all dead, right?
We thrive in the storm. Your people thrive in order.
I'm holding back the urge to mock her.
We thrive in the storm. Order, we thrive.
It's so hardcore of you. Okay, Angie, if you want to see your man, I'm gonna need you to let go of Hazel.
If I let go of Hazel,
if you're going to hold up a knife to anyone, let it be me and not the child.
Like, okay, but See, here's my issue with that. I like your thinking. You're right. And I won't have an issue taking you as hostage. But how I see it is, your people might not have an issue letting you die, but they won't let poor Hazel here die.
Like, if I die, it's fine. But if Hazel dies, that's gonna be an issue for you, ma'am.
It's gonna be an issue for the community, which is why they won't let him die. They'll let me and my people walk out of here.
If that kid dies, I will give orders for my people to go and murder your man.
And that's why Hazel won't die. Hazel is the perfect interest for both of us. Because I don't want Hazel to die. You don't want Hazel to die. They don't want Hazel to die. So me, my man, and my crew will walk out of here completely fine.
I just can't agree with you on that one, Hazel. It's either me, you take me, you put the knife to me, or we're gonna have to find another way to let that kid go in your arms.
We're gonna have to find another way to what?
To get you to go see your man without having a blade to that kid's neck.
Now you could have gotten him and brought him out. You could have just freed him by now.
Oh, what's his face, Jerry?
You could have just freed Jerry. You could have freed my man.
I forgot Jerry was your man. My priorities are Hazel, and I forgot that this man was already tied up.
Yeah, no, she's holding a kid named Hazel, and she wants Jerry because apparently
that's right.
They're each other's little love.
I guess I could go fucking free Jerry instead of trying to talk my way out of this because this hardcore lady right here is not taking no for an answer.
Okay, so y'all go upstairs. She still has the kid. You take off all the whatever, however you have Jerry in prison. You take everything off. And he's like, see, I'm still here. And then the lightning hits. And so it kind of brings in light into the building. So then he sees Angie. He's like, oh, that's why you're freeing me. It's like, I knew she would come through. So Jerry's basically just talking a lot of smack. It's like, I told you, you have the option to kill me. Natural selection and stuff, you know. Now I'm going to walk away free. And so he's just constantly talking smack, just trying to get a rise out of you as y'all walking back downstairs. And Angie's like, we're going to need a boat, too. I'm sure y'all got some spare boats around here because our boat is a little damaged. They didn't tie down their boats like idiots, so they thought they was going to be in and out and kill all y'all and keep going, and that didn't happen. Now there's a storm. So y'all's boats are fine and tied to the building, and theirs is drifting away. So they're demanding a boat from
you. And who's with me currently? It's just me, right? Like,
well, now like all your people are crowding you as well, but behind you, because they want Hazel, including Brienne, the mother of Hazel. She's like right next to you, like just please give him whatever, because I want my boy safe.
Me thinking I want to try. I'll give them a boat, but I want to try to find a way to sabotage the boat. So even though if they take the boat, they're not going to get very far with it. Especially in the middle of a storm.
Well, these boats are motorized boats. So when you go and free the boat, you could just basically damage the gasoline tank on it, stab it or something on the low as you untie the boat to give to them or something. Okay,
yes. Okay, I would rather go sabotage the boat and then give them that boat that they can go and they can leave. Because either way, if I don't kill them, then I'm hoping the storm will.
And it probably will. It's a really bad storm. Like, y'all are out there, and I should describe that. When you go outside, the rain is so thick with so much rain, you can barely see anything in front of you. The clouds are extremely dark. There's no light coming through at all, except for the lightning itself. And the water is just crazy. It's like you're on a beach or something, because now the city is like one huge ocean, if you will. So the water is rising crazy and slamming against the windows of the building and things like that. You go.
Yeah. So I go
boat.
and I grab the boat and I sabotage the boat. Like I do my best to make a hole in the gas tank, but small enough for it not to be noticeable, but wide enough for the gas to leak out.
Okay. Now, you haven't given them the boat yet. You're about to. And Angie goes, by the way, I hope you know Hazel's coming with me, because I wouldn't want y'all to shoot us as soon as we leave off. Now, she's worried about taking Hazel so y'all don't shoot them on their way out. But now that gives you something to think about, because if you sabotage the boat, you're sabotaging Hazel. I don't want you to think I was just trying to screw you over here. I had that typed up already. That's what Angie would do, would try to take Hazel.
Now, they don't have anything on me besides Hazel, right?
On you, no. They only have Hazel, and now they have the rest of their people as they're being freed and stuff like that, because that was a demand she already gave the other people like Brienne to free her people. And she made you free Jerry. So they just have their people.
I'm trying to come up with a plan that I can secretly use
now,
one of my bugs.
None of them have weapons. Your people weren't stupid enough to give them back their weapons. Because they know if they gave them their weapons, then they would kill all of them and Hazel. So they didn't give them their weapons, but she still has Hazel with the knife to him. So that's like the greatest weapon, she thinks, against you all.
I'm trying to decipher a way that Hazel doesn't get harmed while trying to formulate a plan to be able to send or try to get, my bugs involved. Because I kind of feel like I want to create chaos in the sense of if I can create enough chaos, then obviously Jerry and Angie just cares about Jerry, and I'm pretty sure they would leave their people to die if it was them or to save themselves or to save their people.
Pretty good observation. Also note, every time it's not lightning, it gets so black out even outside that it's hard to see each other. It could be used to your advantage if you want to. Then it lightnings every few seconds and you can see everybody outside, and then when it goes black again, you can barely see Angie and Jerry in front of you, only from their eyes.
Okay, so I want to say that I'm going to do this. That in the moments that the lightning does not strike, I send my ants to I want to send my ants to, I guess, create a barrier between Jerry's crew and the boat, or enough of them to for them to panic. And then I want to send in wasps to cause a distraction overhead, as if convincing them that I'm gonna attack them. And then in that chaos, I'll send the ants to not hurt them, but bum rush them.
So here's the thing before you continue. So the ants, you'll be able to control them for multiple reasons. A, you've worked with them so long, you can control them on the slide without it being noticeable. And ants work in the dark. However, your wasp, you need the wasp queen, remember, on you to be able to control them, and you don't have her. She's upstairs, and the bees don't work in the dark. From my understanding, see, the bees are wasps, but if I'm correct, bees shut down when it's dark, when it's pitch black, and you still have the storm. Your ants are a little more tenacious, but the bees and stuff, they fly, so it's all that rain is gonna hinder them from flying around and being able to move.
Right, I forgot that it was raining. Okay, so my primaries right now is ants.
Yeah, and they move through anything.
I'm trying to see how ballsy I want to be here with the ants because of Hazel. Okay, so then I kind of want to stick with the idea of the ants, like, bum rushing them from each corner. So on, like, the left-hand side and the right-hand side, and from the back, I want my ants to kind of bum rush them. But, like, run through them so that way, that when they're running through them, Jerry and Angie are also being confused and most likely will try to get to the boat.
To escape the ants.
To escape the ants. And I'll have a pair of ants with me to try to go after Angie. We'll try to go and save Hazel. If I can create enough chaos to where I have an opening to get straight towards Angie, I want to bum rush her, but have one of my ants kind of like run into her.
Okay. Okay, so you start signaling them. What do you do to distract Angie? Because she's like, why are we still sitting here? Every time the lightning hits and stuff, she can't see what you're doing, but she's like, why are we still sitting here? You know, what's the deal? You gonna give us the boat or not? Or do I have to injure Hazel so bad that while y'all are tending him, I can take whatever boat I want? Your ants are still marching on the way, but you know it's gonna take maybe another 10-20 seconds where you need to kind of distract her, and she's running out of patience.
Like, well, Angie, like, the boat that we're gonna give you, we have to make sure that it's running correctly, because out of all of our boats, this one's slightly a bit finicky. The way that you have to turn it on a certain way for it to really spark in order to ignite and to be able to get going.
Then give me another boat.
But you're trying to get out here as soon as possible, and the boat that we have currently is the closest one to you.
Whatever, just in mid-sentence, your ants are finally there. And they rush in, and you want them as soon as they get there to attack, or?
I want, as soon as they're rushing.
You know they're in the area, because you can feel them around your feet, and no one's looking down, but you can feel the ants crawling around you, ready for your save.
Yeah, I want them as soon as, like, as soon as I give the signal, I'll do like a 1-2, and then they come out and they start rushing. And then I want the two that is with me. I want one. I forget that they can dig. I want one to go right under where Angie is, to kind of create a direct, like, tunnel. And then come out from under her, and if she's gonna be like, oh my god, there's an ant. And then that's when I come in with my other ant, and I try to scoop up Hazel from her while she's being distracted by the ant that's behind her.
Okay. So that happens, the ant starts making its way up under, and it bursts through the ground, and it startles her, and then you start bomb rushing. But as it startles her, she doesn't flip out necessarily. It's like, oh my gosh, there's an ant. She drops Hazel for a second as she's distracted by the ant, but then she realizes who she's dealing with, because she's seen how you are with bugs, because she saw you take down Jerry. So she immediately realized, like, oh, this is an attack. And she launches over to stab Hazel. and she doesn't get she gets his leg, and then by the time she dropped him, and then she leaped over to stab him, but she only stabbed his leg, and then by that time you're there, assuming restraining her. He has a knife in his thigh, and by this time his mom runs over and grabs him. What do you do with Angie and Jerry? Jerry's being bomb rushed by a bunch of ants, and he's still not feeling too good from the wasp stings that you gave him. So Jerry's not really fighting. He's flipping out and running for the boat.
I immediately tell my ants to just rush right up against Jerry first. He's the easiest. While I'm in the middle of trying to restrain Angie, so I get like two of my bugs just to kind of bloop, just bloop on her, they bloop, they lay on her,
they sit, okay.
they sit on her, essentially, I'm not gonna hurt her because essentially I want to be able to immobilize her to be able to tie her up, so they just kind of bloop. Uh-huh. They sit on her, and it's enough weight for obviously that she can't really she's struggling to move.
Yeah, so several of them, they just crawl on top of her and immobilize her altogether, and she doesn't have her one weapon, the knife. The rest of their crew, do you want the ants to fight them? They've kind of backed up because they don't really see everything that's going on. They don't really fully realize it because it keeps getting pitch black and then it's lightning. So they're a little confused as to what's going on, but eventually they'll notice their leaders are down. How do you want to handle the rest of their crew?
I also want my bugs to I want them to push them back to where they can corner them essentially, and then tell my people to.
Okay, so as the bugs start cornering them, half of them throw their hands up like we don't want no problems.
Then I tell my people grab them.
Some of them jump off of the platform though into the raging waters, and they said they're
I can't do anything about that.
They rather take their chance with the waters.
That's fine. If they want to take the chance, that's fine. Essentially, I can't do anything about that. I'm not trying to waste my energy trying to off chance that 4 of them survive. My main priority is Jerry and Angie. So the ones that
situation,
diffusing the situation. If whoever jumps off, they jump off. The ones who are surrendering, I tell my people, get them tied up, get them inside, and let's all start moving back inside of the community, our building.
Gotcha. Okay, so as you all doing that, Angie and Jerry are restrained. Your people come out and they tie up Angie and Jerry as well and help you, and they start dragging in Angie and Jerry. Brienne is saying that her son is losing a lot of blood because he got stabbed in the thigh, and there's a main artery in the thigh. So she's trying her best to keep his blood, keep him stable, and keep him from losing too much blood. And then you see the lightning strike the top of your building so hard that pieces start flying off from the top of your building. As you all go back inside, you have someone that runs down and reports that the top of the building's been damaged and a lot of water's coming in. It has a huge hole in it. So now y'all have that the building has been compromised from the storm. There's water coming in, and Hazel is bleeding out. Now, Brienne knows medicine and stuff and medical, so she's fully tending to her son. She's just, and have the help of a few other people. But you do have that kind of concern. What do you want to do as far as the building with the rain coming in? It's all the way at the top floor, so it's not really affecting y'all in the lower levels of the floor, but it's a lot of water coming in that's only gonna run straight down.
I want to get the ants. I want to get a group of ants to go find whatever that they can, heavy, to be able to block the water. Okay, from at least coming down the stairs. And then while they're off doing that, I want to do what I can to help the bleeding of Hazel.
So, um, let me see what's next. Okay. So you're fixing the damage, or you're at least fixing the water from flooding out. Some of your people is just like, we might need to look for a different building because, I mean, for tonight, that's fine. We'll just, do what we can. But with that damage done, if it keeps raining like this, we won't be able to survive. That water will pour in hard. So we might have to look at getting in a different building. But they tell you, yeah, the ants are getting a lot of scrap wood and stuff. And they're going to have to break down some of y'all's boats. The ants would have to do that because y'all don't really have scrap pieces, except for furniture and stuff. So some of them are just grabbing random furniture, tables and chairs, and a lot of the ants are like breaking down the boats outside and bringing them in. You got a whole little workforce going on, which is pretty cool. Now, the people that are kind of overseeing the ants, they tell you, okay, the ants are blocking off the water. There's a lot of buzzing, and it looks like it's mosquitoes. Mosquitoes, they nest when it's raining. They nest in water. And these mosquitoes are big. They are about the size. They're about the size of your bees. They're just much skinnier. So they're about the size of your forearm. So these are, mosquitoes already little tiny things. When they prick you, can do some damage. And these are huge, blood-sucking bugs. They're like, it might be fine as long as we block off every level of them being able to come in, but that whole upstairs of the building now is going to be infested with mosquitoes because there's just water nesting in there, and they're also smelling a bunch of people, including fresh blood from Hazel. They also tell you that they see mosquitoes swarming outside where the blood is on the ground from Hazel. None are inside the building yet, except for the top floor where the hole is. So it's a rough night. What all do you want to do about all this? I'm done throwing stuff at you. That's like the final little kind of nail in the coffin on everything coming your way.
So the top's flooded with already swarming mosquitoes. And Hazel, how much have we already stopped from the bleeding for Hazel?
Y'all stopped the bleeding and maintained it, but now he's like fevering up and stuff like that because he's a child and he's lost a lot of blood. And you have medicine that you've extracted from bugs that help with bringing down fevers, except for it's kind of in the upstairs and it's getting wrist flooded out. Like you have medical equipment and bug equipment that's all upstairs, basically up where you had Jerry at. A lot of your experiments were done in the higher levels of the building. So to go retrieve that, you have to deal with mosquitoes and water. But the bleeding has stopped for Hazel. He's just dealing with the fever. But his mom, she feels like she can handle his fever without the medicine. You just know you do have something that can take it down like in a blink of an eye.
Okay.
Risk your life and whoever goes with you dealing with water and huge bugs. That's something for you to really think about.
That's too risky because there's no way for us to distract the mosquitoes because they're attracted to water and they're attracted to blood. Unless I risk the life of two people to save the one, but I'd rather not do that because the whole point of what I just did was to save the one. If she can maintain it for now, then what I want to do is I want to just focus on that. If we can maintain the fever at least until the rain stops, we can go from there. As far as like shielding us from the rest of the mosquitoes, I'd like to kind of enforce the idea of the ants kind of creating a hole where we could just kind of gather for now, and then like kind of
like a little resting
wall. Yeah, like a little resting room. And like a wall, essentially. Like I have half of them digging kind of like a resting room underground for now until we can find a different way to wait it out. and then deal with the mosquitoes, and then kind of have the rest kind of build a barricade essentially, like on top to like cover us.
Got you. Just to make sure, in case the bugs were to get through, in case the mosquitoes were to get through, because they're
Yes.
still contained in the top floor, so they're not where you all are at.
Yeah, essentially, like I want them to prepare that, and then once the mosquitoes do start coming down, that's where we go, and that's how we kind of evacuate everybody for the time being until the storm passes.
All
But
right.
not until it gets like that bad to where they actually start coming further down.
Yeah. Okay, so everything goes as to plan. Everything goes smoothly. You all wait out the night. The storm stops after the next night, and his fever was kept maintained. The next day, she's like, it's spiking up and down, but it's pretty good, and there's no more extra damage that's been done to the building. You still hear some buzzing whenever you go in the stairs. You can hear buzzing way up at the top, but they haven't gone through any other parts of the building. And then you hear a knock on one of the windows of the building, and it's your old scientist friend. You can come up with a name for him. I really need a name for him. I keep forgetting, but old scientist friend, Bobby. He's knocking on the window. He's like, Jasmine, I've made it back, and I brought some friends. And that's where we're stopping.
Okay, cool.
Well, got through a lot there. Dealt with